Okay, so what I'm going to be doing from now is, even if it's a day where I don't trade, or even if I don't take the same trade as this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to recap and show what I believe was the A plus setup or the best trade of the day. Like I say, whether I take it or not, whether I even take a trade, whether I even trade, right? So today, I didn't trade, but we're still going to show it, okay? So, coming into the day, overall, I was bullish, right? The reason I was bullish is because we have this 4-hour kind of CRT candle closure formation inside this bullish 4-hour gap. We didn't inverse this 4-hour gap, but we closed so aggressively that we pretty much did, right? That shows signs of we're going to disrespect it. So we want to see this 4-hour high, right? It's pretty obvious. And obviously overall since, Thursday, we've just been in a bullish trend. It's just like a bit of a pullback and then a continuation, right? So the higher time frame is bullish. Now, it was a bit tricky today, right? It wasn't easy. It definitely was the best setup, but to miss this or to not take this is fine, right? So coming into open, we do have low resistance all down here. We've got this low here, and we've got a bearish 15-minute gap, right? What we do is we come down, we sweep out this low, like barely, but we do sweep this low. So that is our manipulation, and then obviously we want to see us distribute higher because we've swept this low inside this bullish 15-minute gap. So that is our enough manipulation that we want to see. Obviously, yes, you could say, we've got some lows here, these are low resistance here, and yes, that is true. But once we get the long setup out of the 15-minute gap with the bullish bias, that's all we need, really, right? And if you take a look at ES did have a lot of low resistance to the upside, right? As you can see, we had this high close to that high, and then we had these highs all here. So ES had a good reason to want to go higher. Going back to NQ, so we sweep out this low. Obviously, we do have this bearish 15-minute gap, so if you were bearish, you could have looked for shorts from there to the low resistance. That would have been fine, but with the higher time frame being bullish, you wouldn't be looking for that, right? It doesn't mean you would take longs because it's there. Like, if there was no long, you wouldn't take it, but you wouldn't be looking for shorts because it just doesn't make sense to. So what we see, sweep out the 15-minute low, and then we get a huge rejection wick, right? This is the 1-minute entry. The 30-second entry was pretty much the same. Well, it was the same, right? So it was that candle close after that rejection wick. As you can see, this is not the cleanest move ever by any means. It is a Monday, so keep that in mind. And price action hasn't been super clean recently anyway, but it did win, right? So the way it won was this, right? You enter on the CISD out of the 15-minute gap off the manipulation, and you're targeting the 4-hour high, right? We displace higher. We then rebalance the range. Now, this is a very, very, very deep rebalance, okay? And it could have scared some people, and it probably did, and it would have done if you were in it because it was aggressive, but this low always stays intact, and because that's our protected low, that's all that matters, right? It doesn't matter if we, rebalance to here or all the way to here. As long as we don't take that low, then the trade is still valid, so that's why our stop loss is there, because if we took that low, then I would have been bearish, okay? We rebalance. We then do displace higher, right? Now, when do we go break even? Well, if you think about it, this is the high that started the move to rebalance. And obviously the rules are you wait for a close above that high to go break even, okay? And the reason that is because that once we rebalance and then trade back above this high, we should not want to go back lower and rebalance, okay? So it's fine to go break even. So you'd wait here, displace would be nice, pull back into the 1-minute gap, into break even, and then push up higher. As soon as this candle closes above here, you go break even, and then as you can see from there, it just runs. Again, still not super clean. We do kind of edge it, come back lower, and then go for it, but to that 4-hour high, right? And yeah, you could have just put your stop loss probably at this low instead of break even, so you would have been risking 9 points compared to 80. And yeah, that was 2R. That was the trade of the day. I did see a few people take shorts, and I'll go over them, right? The reason shorts look good, in my opinion, if you're pattern trading it, is because, one, we swept out this high just barely, so this looks like a protected high. And then you can say, we rebalanced this range. Well, we actually didn't, right? We swept this high. So you wouldn't want to take shorts, because if you want to take shorts from this 15-minute gap here that we have, right, you would want to see this high stay intact. Once we take this high, that is a bullish sign, okay? Because if we were truly bearish, this 15-minute gap would have got respected. It's like somewhere here. We wouldn't have took this high. This high would have been left because it's a high resistance high. and then we would have just traded lower. So taking this high is actually a bullish indication, right? And then, so yeah, you wouldn't have took shorts, but I can see why people took shorts, right? Liquidity sweep, and then we do displace aggressively. It was definitely a 30-second inverse somewhere. Well, it was 30-second change in the state there, 30-second inverse down there. Obviously, I get it. You do have low resistance. You do have the session lows below here. This is London low here. But like I say, when you're bullish, right, if a very good long setup presents itself that has a protected stop loss, then what is below you isn't super important, right? Obviously, it's good to take account of, like, if this wick, say, were to trade down to about here, then I wouldn't have wanted to take the longs, right? Because that's very close to these lows. But rejecting this low like this and then staying intact when we rebalance is obviously what you're looking for, right? And obviously the Judas swing move is nice. So that's the A+ setup of the day. Yeah, good trades. But it was tricky, right? It wasn't like, I mean, if you were to just not take anything today, like me, and just kind of sit out, then that's fine, because it was a bit confusing, right? There could be a good setup later, but I do doubt it.